Question number 11 is all about transformations. Triangle T is drawn on a coordinate grid, which you can see, and part A asks us to translate triangle T using the vector -3 and 1. Now, it's all about understanding what these numbers mean. The number at the top is the move on the x-axis. If it's negative, you move left. If it's positive, you move right. And the number on the bottom is the move on the y-axis. And if it's positive, you move up, and if it's negative, you move down. So you can use tracing paper in your exam. So if you haven't been given any, you can always ask for some. You get that piece of tracing paper, you draw the shape over the shape that's on the grid, and you then proceed to move the triangle, which is effectively what translation is, but never call it a move. You move it 3 spaces to the left, 1, 2, 3, and then you move it 1 up, which is nice and simple. So your final resting place is as accurate as you can possibly be. Here, you're going to put some nice sharp pencil marks going through the piece of tracing paper, so you mark on the position on the grid that's below the piece of tracing paper, and then you pop it in place. If you draw that in, you can move your piece of tracing paper away, and there it is. So that is question 11A for 2 marks. B, you have to describe fully the single transformation that represents the following things. So part 1 to that is a rotation with the centre of 0, 0 of 180 degrees, followed by a rotation with the centre 0, 0 of 90 degrees clockwise. So again, we're going to need our tracing paper for this. Now I can't do this exactly as I would like to do it to show you, because I'm obviously on the computer, and you would actually have a pencil and an actual piece of tracing paper, and it would be a little bit easier. So I'm going to have to improvise a little bit and try and explain what I mean as well as I possibly can. So getting the nice sharp pencil, you're going to pop that pencil at the point of rotation. So 0, 0 is the point of rotation. And then you're going to rotate that shape, so in this triangle, around that point. That is your pivot point, right? So you're going to go 180 degrees to begin with. And if you went 180 degrees, you would rotate this piece of tracing paper around, and I will do that for you. 180 degrees, and you would then pop it and line up this X here with 0, 0, and that's where it lays, approximately as accurate as we can possibly be. So that's the 180 degree rotation. Then you're going to go 90 degrees clockwise, and then I'm just going to line that X up there, that little cross that I drew, and that will be the final resting place of your rotation. So you draw that shape in, okay, and you make it as accurate as you possibly can, and then you get your tracing paper and you move it away, and you've got your shape in the correct space. Now what we have to do is figure out, because we need to describe the transformation that gets this from here, this triangle from here, to here in this space here, right? Now what we could see, if we were to put this triangle back in the original place, what we should be able to notice is that it has rotated. So this point is now here, and this point is here, and this point is here. You should be able to see that it's just rotated 90 degrees, and it's gone in an anti-clockwise direction. So that is our description. We're going to say it's a 90 degrees rotation anti-clockwise. You could equally say that it's a 270 degree clockwise rotation, which is actually fairly simple to see just from the information you've been given here, because the centre of rotation point is exactly the same in both parts of this question. B part 2 is all about reflection in the x-axis followed by reflection in the y-axis, and we need to describe the single transformation that represents the following. So the first thing that you'd need to do is you'd need to get your piece of tracing paper again. So again, we've got our piece of tracing paper and let's move the writing as well. So we don't want that. I've written that on the wrong thing. Never mind. So you're going to basically flip the image in the x-axis. So the first reflection appears there, and then if you were going to flip this image in the y-axis, it would appear there. Now, if you remember back to what we did in this part here, we had that exact same position for when we rotated it 180 degrees. So the information that we would write in the space below is that it is a 180 degree rotation from 0, 0. Well, that's one bit of information I did forget actually from the first part of the question. We did need to make sure that you put from 0, 0 to make sure that you've covered all your bases. So this second one is 180 degrees rotation from 0, 0. You can see that this triangle rotates around to here, and all the shapes that we should have drawn on our grid, we could have all of these shapes drawn on the grid, and we have the descriptions and we get all of our marks. And we've done it all properly. Bit easier to show you actually with a piece of tracing paper in real life. Can't move that away, forgot about that. But there we go. That's as good as I think we're going to get on this question for one of these videos.